I have watched literally thousands of hours of crypto YouTube for not one, two, but three crypto cycles. So if there's one topic I'm actually qualified to be speaking about, it is ranking crypto YouTubers. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Got a list of 20 YouTubers here. I know that's not everybody, so write in the comments right away who I missed on this list. This is going to get me in a lot of trouble doing this video, but I do know who's been making the right calls, the wrong calls, completely scamming, all that stuff. I've been monitoring the situation for a long time now. So we're gonna get right into it. We have Marty Party here. This has got to go into the D tier. I'm sorry, Marty, but if you have just that much conviction to be bullish this whole time when we've been a bear market for like 6-7 months now, you have to go in the D tier. That's just completely unacceptable at this point. We got Lark. I'm gonna put Lark in the B here, guys. Definitely somebody who's great for just getting daily updates, news, figuring out what's going on. But Lark is not really the guy to be like, look guys, we're entering a bear market here. It's time to sell, you know what I mean? Data Dash, okay. I don't really know what happened to Data Dash. You can see I went right to the D tier there. But last time, I think the guy actually switched up. Like, it was Nick before. He was a bit like Marty Party, but the opposite way. He was just too bearish for too long. And I actually stopped watching him. He might have remained bearish throughout the entire market. You know, a lot of people were bullish a lot earlier than Data Dash, and I checked up on them. They're still bearish, but now we're in a bear market. So, you know, it's just, it didn't work out. You didn't win with them last cycle. Altcoin Daily going in the C tier. Another one that's kind of like a bit like Lark, but you know, a lot more shilling, like random altcoins every single week. Different altcoins that are just going to zero. But as far as actually succeeding in the cycle, it's got to go in the C tier. Now we have CTO Larson, and CTO Larson is actually going to be going in the A tier for me, because CTO is somebody who was bullish at the right time and was bearish at the right time. If you were able to flip bearish above 100K this cycle, and then, you know, we obviously dropped down to 60, that's a big win. That's getting you a lot of points coming up there, you know. So if you had conviction in that bear market, you're going to see a lot of those guys going into the A tier here. So Data Dash, he just didn't turn bullish. Like, if you weren't buying until after 40-50K, you know, you missed out on a lot of the cycle, especially if you weren't able to perfectly time the top. MM Crypto is actually one of my favorite dudes out there. Been in this space for a long time, winning for a long time. You know, big leverage trader. He's not dropping like that much deep alpha. His videos are usually pretty short. Like, hey, this is like the trade I'm taking today, really quick. It might work, it might not work. For that, I gotta just put him in the B tier. You know, he could go in the A tier. I'm gonna bump him up there. But you know, I can't spend too much time thinking between A and B, but God, he's a close A tier, we'll put it at that. Then we have Ran Nooner, okay, from Crypto Banter. So Ran is definitely going to be going in the D tier today, because this guy is actually someone who is maximum bullish at the peaks, you know, when it's the worst time to be bullish, and then actually as bearish as possible basically at the very bottom, right? So he's a hard D. He's going to be going last on the D. Shilled so many scams, so many bad calls. It's almost like, actually, this is one guy that's worth watching to basically, you know, do the opposite of what he says. Oh man, this is gonna give me some crap. Comment if you disagree, but I'm serious. Put the tweet up. As a matter of fact, he was as bearish as possible at 60K in the capitulation after being bullish through, you know, the tops and everything. So we're gonna put Ran right there at the bottom. Elio, I'm gonna go with the B tier, because same thing, you know, it's just the conviction wasn't that clear for me with the bearish and the bullish flip. Definitely, you know, a lot of altcoins a lot of things, but interesting other takes on the news and stuff like that, similar to Crypto Lark. Guy's definitely a real builder in the space. I mean, shouts out to Elio, but as far as just that straight out hard alpha for me personally, he's not somebody that I'm watching that much, but he goes above Kyle Chasse, who I'm gonna put in the C tier for Chasse. No. Shouts out to Kyle. Definitely an OG who's been there for a long time, but you know, definitely some some crazy altcoin calls at the Pico tops. That's pretty much the worst thing, because actually he was like the meme coin king in the last cycle at certain ports. Like whiff, you know, like if you were following him for those crazy calls, you hit, you know. So there's hits and misses in there. Like he could go a lot of ways with Kyle, but I'm not going to put him in D, and I'm not going to put him up with these guys because he's in kind of his own little league there. But Jason is someone who flipped bearish at the right time, so that's getting him a lot of points here, because a lot of guys, they didn't have that same conviction to flip bearish like Jason did, like CTO did, and I do remember, you know, him being bullish throughout the last cycle a lot of the good times. Got a pretty good list going so far. Next we have Benjamin Cowan. Okay, so Ben is going in the S tier, guys. I can feel people like already closing the video down now because he's getting so much hate, because he was bearish. And I'm going to be honest, you know, he may have been too conservative in this past cycle. You know, he was a little bit late turning bullish. He was maybe a little bit early turning bearish, but that's a lot better than you know what's going on the other side. You're going to lose money. So up here you can see the S and A tier. This is like, you're not going to lose money. You do what these guys are doing, you don't lose money. B tier is like, you might lose money. And then C, D is like, you're going to lose money. So that's basically, I'm looking at this right now. So Ben is, you're not going to lose money following Ben. That's why I'm putting him in the S tier. He's also so good for just understanding like the in-depth market cycles, from the macroeconomics down to, you know, the simplest things, even some altcoins sometimes like that. Definitely was correct on calling, you know, Bitcoin dominance going up the entire cycle, kind of not being so degen this cycle, because, you know, alts didn't really do the same things that they have in previous cycles. He was one of the guys, the GOATs for that. And just his data analysis, I mean, he's a must watch. He's a must watch for anyone involved in crypto that wants to like actually deeply understand what's going on here. We got Didi Tayudu here, okay, the Bitcoin family. This is a unique one, but he's got to go in the B tier. I didn't so much follow him this cycle, but I'm going to put him up here in the B just because his story was so unique, you know, selling everything. It was more like the adventure side of Bitcoin, which just gives you those different kind of vibes, right? You know, forget about the analysis, but big shout out, just that inspiration, like selling everything and buying Bitcoin, moving your family. Super cool. Even without the analysis, you know, this guy could go B or A for sure. Crypto Jeb. Okay, guys, let me know where you guys think Crypto Jeb should go. I'm putting him at A tier, guys. I think we got a pretty solid list here. This is another guy flipped bearish at the right time this cycle, you know, not I can't remember the specifics, but definitely again above that 100K level. There was that speculation, and I remember him being like, yeah, you know what, we are most likely entering a bear market here, we're taking profits, all that kind of stuff. There's, you know, everybody's gonna have their bad calls too, but if you were, you know, able to have conviction to turn bearish above 100K this cycle, that's getting you a lot of points, boosting you up, and he was one of those guys. So, and I think he's smart the way he's approaching this next, you know, starting to accumulate now lightly. That's what a lot of guys in the top tiers are saying. Not like Ren, who, you know, literally sold like the Pico bottom. So that's why he's last over here. Oh man, but okay, let's keep it going. Raul Paul, okay, guys, this is gonna be another D tier here, guys. I'm sorry. Love the guy too, a big baller, especially, you know, in the last cycle, but like, we gotta put that face up of when, you know, he realized that Luna was like going to zero and he'd been shilling it as basically no risk. But the good times with Raul, another Permabull for sure. Don't think I've ever seen him go bearish. Definitely shilling, you know, a lot of shit coins. And so, you know, it's just fun to watch, but you know, you can get that info that he's giving just about anywhere, you know, or you don't even have to watch and just, you know, be a Permabull and like buy everything. And then, you know, that's basically the same thing, right? Alex Becker, okay, definitely another shill king here, meme coin king, moving so much weight that actually if you follow him and you know, get in on the things early, then like, you know, what he talks about is gonna pump a lot of the time, like especially when he's dealing with those real low caps. But that being said, you know, it's a double-edged sword because you get caught on the wrong side of that and then you're rug pulled, right? So there's more losers than there are winners over here. So, you know, we gotta put Becker in the C tier, guys. Definitely another perma bull, another perma alt season bull this whole cycle that never really happened, but, you know, had the good pump and dumps. So right there with Kyle Chasse, I would say, you know what I mean? Like they're shilling the meme coins, right? But hey, so we're going to keep it pushing here. Digital asset news. This is definitely a solid B tier. Again, like a lot of this B tier is like not so much conviction. Whereas, you know, some of these other guys like CTO was like, you know what, I'm taking profits here. I've taken profits and I'm out. But great guy for watching for those daily updates. I think it's a solid B tier. And Coin Bureau, I'm going to go the same thing. Coin Bureau, digital asset news, kind of the similar, and altcoin daily, you know, but altcoin daily slightly worse in my opinion. Let's go with Invest Answers. I'm actually going to put him in the A tier. As much as he might, this separates him from the other A tiers, I don't know if he had that much conviction to be flipping bearish, but a lot of things that did really well, rotating into the right assets at the right time with Invest Answers here, even though it might not have had that conviction to be bearish at the top of this last cycle, like Ivan on Tech did. Okay, so Ivan is definitely one of those guys who in this last cycle took his profits at the top, was very clear about it, had the conviction to say, look, we're bearish, I'm not buying yet, boom, 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 all the way down. And now a serious plan going forward into the next bull market. Ivan on Tech, also very bullish at the right times. At the beginning of the bull market, you know, this guy was someone who was like, look, we're going to be buying here at like 20K, between 20 and 30K at least, you know, he was buying. Same with the previous cycle. So, you know what? Ivan on Tech is going S tier, guys. Ben and Ivan, these are genuinely two guys. I think if you watch Ben, Ivan, and CTO, that's all you need. Over the last two cycles, they've all been here making videos, and they did well. So these three are pretty goated. You know, CTO, he could go up to S tier by the way that he called the bear market this cycle. But real quick, I gotta put BitBoy at the bottom here. Y'all know BitBoy's story. I don't need to go into that, but look guys, there's your list. I think it's pretty solid. I know there's a lot more crypto influencers out there, so I'm gonna be looking at the comments to see what you guys think about this list, where I mixed up what, who I should have put on the list. And I can definitely pull up another 20-30 influencers, but that's gonna be it. Wrap this video up. Kind of a longer one, but a fun one. So yeah, see you guys later. Peace.